Hello, my name is Sam Khan, and today I will be discussing an interaction design element of appearance through lighting. So to begin, let's have an overview of the concept. So the concept that we'll be talking about today is a center module that is a part of a smart suit for volleyball players to train smarter. So the primary user will be volleyball players, and the idea is that this smart suit will be used during training sessions for teams to be able to diagnose any form issues, and track data in real time. So over here you can see an example of sort of what this device can sort of calculate. So we have the heart rate. It can suggest form correction. It can also calculate velocity, real-time GPS tracking on the court, O2 tracking, workload, joint rotation, range of motion, G-force, and etc. So this is sort of the design process, the initial design process of the concept. The device we'll be going over today is called the center module. So it is one part of the smart suit, and it will be located at the back of the smart suit in this sort of location, so that it does not interfere with the players when they're on the court playing the game. The design was inspired through biomimicry, and sort of these final design solutions were developed, and we picked this one in red as it is inspired by the Nautilus, and the overall design is concentric in order to form this circular pattern. The colors that are used in the device are three primary colors. So the first, or I should say just three colors. The first primary color is a blue, and the reason for this is that blue is most oftenly used in technologically advanced or smart products, and it can help boost alertness, heighten reaction times, elevate moods, and increase the feeling of well-being. And it can also spark enthusiasm and sort of invoke peace and tranquility. It also helps build trust in the stability and calmness of the product, so that it can ensure that volleyball players and coaches can count on this smart device to better their game. The second color is a yellow. This color will be used to communicate caution or warning. In the device, there should be an error state in case something goes wrong with the device, and yellow is a quick way to grab the user's attention, and we'll be going over how it will be doing that. The third color would be red, and this is to just communicate a low battery status. It is universally used as well for battery symbols, and so this could be easily recognized by the users.
Alright, so now that we have a good overview of the concept, let's get into the sequences that it will have. So firstly, I took the rough sketch that I did initially and took it into Illustrator to make the different shapes that I needed. I also split the inner ring into different shapes as well, so that I can make a sequence out of them. Initially, I was going to use these as they are, but later decided that a more seamless sort of style fits better. So that's that, and let's get into our first state, which is the startup state. So to start the device, all the user has to do is press and hold the middle button as shown. And as they do that, the inner ring will sequentially light up until it completes a full circle. Once it completes a full circle, the device is officially on. Each of these lights take around 0.03 seconds to fill up or to turn on. Since there are about 20 lights, I made sure that the time wasn't too long so that the user doesn't have to wait too long for the device to start up. Once the device starts up, it will immediately go into pairing mode. Now, I've explored two different versions of this pairing mode, which I'll be going over. So let's begin with the first pairing mode. The first pairing mode sort of mimics a signal being sent out. So again, once the device is on, as shown, it will go into pairing mode, the inner ring dims, and it sequentially lights up as if it was sending a signal outward. It will continue to do this until until an external device, such as an iPad, will confirm its pairing request. And so, thinking about this, the device will be used by players, but the coach or the training staff are the ones that are really analyzing the data that it gathers. So I can see this device being paired most likely with an iPad that the coach might have alongside him as he tracks his players' performance and positions on the court in real time. Now, going over, before I go do that, let's go over the timing for each of the lights. So again, notice that the sort of first thing that happens is that the inner ring dims, and then it goes into its pulsing state. So the dim is 2 seconds long, and then each pulse, each sort of light that turns on is 0.2 seconds. Now, within this version 1, we need to make sure that the user knows that it has successfully been paired. And so, sort of following the same design language of a wave being sort of sent out, what is being done now is that all the lights will sequentially light up until the whole module is lit, and then pulse 3 times to let the user know that the device has in fact been paired. So let's look at that again. 1, 2, 3, and that's the confirmation. So now, while exploring, I was debating whether to sort of keep with this movement going from the center outwards, or to sort of try a more rotational movement, which is what the device was originally designed for. And so with version 2 of the pairing mode, it sort of revolves in an anti-clockwise sort of movement. So initially, when the device starts up, it will start this sequence up to let the user know that the device is searching, or that the center module is searching for a device, an external device like an iPad. And sort of, again, following the same design language, what will happen if if a secondary device is found? It will fill up and then do a sequential pulse as shown. So let's see that again. So it's finding a device, it has found one, and it will fill up and then pulse in and out as shown. Now this pulse was actually accidental the way it turned out, but I thought that it was kind of cool that it sort of pulses from being completely full downwards or inwards, then sort of does an alternative pulse where it's just the outer ring pulsing in and out 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, or 4, I guess, 4 times, to let the user know, again, to confirm that the device has been paired. Each of these lights will take 0.2 seconds. Here I've written high, medium, none. In reality, it would just be one color, but for illustration purposes, I've included 3 sort of colors to show the gradual transition between the dimming. And if I just quickly go over this previous sequence where it's searching for a device, this is also 0.2 seconds. So this is essentially the same all the way through, even when the device has been found and paired, and as well as the pulsing at the end. Alright, so those were the two different versions for the pairing mode. I also have also explored two different versions for the active state. So the active state is when the device has been successfully paired. The volleyball players have put on their smart suits and are training on the court. What will the device look like while it's on them? It needs to ensure that the coach and everyone around that it needs to ensure that they know that the device is working, right? So I've sort of labeled it as the active state. Now the first active state sort of mimics a breathing like sequence where the light slowly dims out and then slowly dims on again. This is sort of there to again let everyone know that the device is still on, but also mimic or give the suit some life, where as if it was breathing with the user. The sort of timing between each light is 3-second fade in and out. So it'll take 3 seconds to fade out and then 3 seconds to fade in. So that's version 1. Version 2 of the active state is a heartbeat, again with the same idea of keeping the sort of giving the suit life. This sort of heartbeat sort of mimics life within the suit. And the first initial beats, so bup bup, are 0.2 seconds, and then that last bit of fade out is a bit longer. So it sort of mimics a heartbeat, dut 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 dut, and so on. Those were the two active states that I was exploring. Alternatively, say we go with sort of the breathing one, and then instead of just always being like this, perhaps the device could turn into this mode when it has gathered significant data and is calculating. So for example, let's say the player has performed a spike or is moving around the court rapidly. It could switch to this state to let the coach know at least that it's working and gathering data. So that was just one of the thinkings behind how the device would work outside the pairing mode. And of course, with every device, there should be an error state or emergency state to let the user know that something's wrong. So with this, we've gone with the yellow bright light. And essentially what will happen is that it will flash alternatively. So as the inner ring lights off, outer ring lights on, and so on. This is to quickly grab the user's attention, or even the coach or the other players around them, to let them know that something's wrong with the device and it needs immediate attention. Otherwise, if we didn't have this state, there could be scenarios where the device hasn't gathered any data, and it could be a real disadvantage to their training session. So yeah, that's about it for this one. So each sort of light is 0.5 seconds. So it takes half a second to turn off and on. And any problems that will sort of be diagnosed will be through the app, or if there's a hardware issue, then the app will sort of suggest solutions to the user. And perhaps in terms of haptic feedback, Haptic feedback could be another way to let the user know who's actually wearing it that something's wrong with the suit, since they can't actually see the light, since the sort of center module, as discussed before, is behind them. Haptic or vibration or something similar could be a way to let the user who's wearing it know something's wrong. Now let's go over the last state that we have here, which is the low battery status. So this is taking, for example, the breathing active state and showcasing it where, for example, if the device has been used for a very long time and it's still active, but the inner ring will now turn red to indicate that the device is low on battery. Now, my thinking behind not why I didn't make the other colors red was that I feel like this inner ring is enough to show the status of the low battery, since the red is contrasts quite well. And also, if the battery of the device is low at any point of any of these different states, only the inner light color will change. So, for example, if it was pairing, or if you had turned it on while it was low on battery, instead of being blue, it would be red. Same with the pairing mode. Inner light would be red with whatever pairing mode, whether it's version 1 or version 2. And again, with whatever sort of active state. And perhaps this sort of thinking could be integrated for the warning light as well. Perhaps this one could be sort of an immediate warning that the device needs to be checked now, and an alternative one where just the middle light sort of blinks on and off could be sort of a more sort of subtle warning, where it's, the device is still working, but it might need to be looked at later. All right, so that is that pretty much sums up all the different sort of states that we have so far for this prototype or sketch model, digital sketch model. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for listening. Until next time, bye-bye.